Good day everyone, fellow citizens of this beautiful, struggling world. Please, lend me your ears and your time. What I have to say today is, without a shred of exaggeration, a matter of life and death. Not a dramatic, sudden death, but a slow, insidious, and entirely preventable one. I am here to talk to you about the single greatest threat to our collective health, a threat that sits in plain sight in our pantries, our lunchboxes, and our children's lunchrooms. I am here to talk about the slow poison we have been sold as progress, ultra-processed food. For decades, we've been engaged in a silent, unacknowledged war. The battlefield is our own bodies, and the enemy has been cleverly disguised as convenience, as affordability, as joy. We have been told that the path to a modern, efficient life is paved with ready-made meals, sugary drinks, and snacks that can last for months on a shelf without spoiling. We have celebrated the fact that we spend less time cooking, less time preparing, less time thinking about our food. But I am here to tell you that this celebration was premature. We were not saving time, we were borrowing it, at a catastrophic interest rate of chronic disease, mental fog, and a profound disconnect from the very fuel that sustains us. So, what exactly are these ultra-processed foods? They are not simply processed foods. Let me be clear, processing in itself is not evil. Chopping a vegetable, freezing a berry, baking a loaf of bread from flour, water, yeast, and salt, these are processes. Ultra-processing is something else entirely. These are not modified foods, they are formulations. They are industrial concoctions, assembled from substances derived from foods, but bearing little to no resemblance to their original source. They are typically created by breaking whole foods down into their constituent parts, starches, sugars, cheap oils, and protein isolates, and then reassembling them with a cocktail of additives, preservatives, emulsifiers, sweeteners, flavor enhancers, and artificial colors. Their purpose is not nourishment. Their purpose is profit. They are engineered to be hyperpalatable, to hijack our brain's reward systems, to be consumed in volumes that whole foods never could be, and to have a shelf life that would make a pharaoh envious. Think about the last thing you ate from a brightly colored package. A protein bar that claims to be healthy? A flavored yogurt? A bowl of breakfast cereal? A slice of packaged bread that feels like cotton wool? Read the ingredients. You will find a list of chemical compounds and refined substances that read more like a laboratory experiment than a recipe. You will see high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, maltodextrin, soy lecithin, sodium benzoate, monosodium glutamate, and a list of colors and flavors with numbers for names. These ingredients are not there for you. They are there to mask the unpleasant tastes of cheap raw materials, to create a perfectly consistent mouthfeel, to ensure the product survives a 1,000-mile journey in a truck, and, most crucially, to make it irresistible, so you come back for more, and more, and more. This is not conspiracy, this is food science, and it has been weaponized against our biology. Our bodies, honed by millions of years of evolution, are simply not equipped to handle these fabricated substances. Our digestive systems do not recognize them. Our hormonal systems go haywire in their presence. Our brains become addicted to the intense, artificial bursts of sugar, fat, and salt. This fundamental mismatch between our ancient physiology and our modern food environment is the root cause of the tsunami of chronic disease that is drowning our healthcare systems and shortening our lives. Let us talk about the consequences, the quiet carnage happening inside us. First, and most visibly, is the obesity epidemic. For years, we were told it was a simple equation of calories in versus calories out. Just exercise more and eat less. This was a convenient lie, peddled by the very industries that profited from our confusion. The truth is far more sinister. Ultra-processed foods are not just calorie-dense, they are designed to bypass the natural signals that tell us we are full. Whole foods, an apple, a chicken breast, a handful of nuts, require work to digest. They contain fiber, protein, and water that trigger satiety hormones in our gut, signaling to our brain that we have had enough. Ultra-processed foods, stripped of fiber and packed with rapidly absorbed sugars and fats, bypass this system entirely. They are so easy to eat, so lacking in substance, that we can consume a staggering number of calories without ever feeling truly satisfied. We are eating empty caloric volume, not nourishing food. But obesity is merely the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface lies a host of other ailments. Type 2 diabetes, once a disease of the elderly, is now striking our children. Why? Because the constant onslaught of refined sugars and carbohydrates from soft drinks, cookies, and snacks forces our pancreas to pump out more and more insulin. Over time, our cells become resistant to this insulin. The glucose, the very fuel our cells need, builds up in our bloodstream, becoming a toxic substance that damages our nerves, our kidneys, our eyes, and our hearts. This is a direct pathway paved with ultra-processed foods. Then there is our heart, the tireless engine of our body. The industrial seed oils, the trans fats, the excessive sodium, and the inflammatory sugars in these foods are a recipe for cardiovascular disaster. They contribute to hardened arteries, high blood pressure, and sky-high triglyceride levels, setting the stage for heart attacks and strokes that strike down millions in the prime of their lives. And we cannot ignore the gut, which we are now understanding is the very seat of our health. Our gut is home to trillions of bacteria, a complex ecosystem known as the microbiome. This community of microbes is not a passive bystander, it plays a critical role in our immune function, our metabolism, and even our mental health. What do these bacteria eat? They eat the fiber from whole plant foods. When we starve them of their preferred fuel and instead feed them a diet of artificial emulsifiers, preservatives, and refined sugars, we decimate the beneficial species and allow harmful ones to flourish. This disruption, known as dysbiosis, is linked to inflammatory bowel disease, allergies, autoimmune conditions, and even anxiety and depression. The food we eat directly dictates the health of our gut, which in turn dictates the health of our entire being. Perhaps the most heartbreaking casualty in this war is our mental and emotional well-being. The brain, a marvel of complexity, is built from the nutrients we provide it. It requires a steady supply of high-quality fats, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to function optimally. When we feed it a diet of ultra-processed junk, we are building a brain on a foundation of sand. We see the consequences in the rising rates of ADHD in our children, of brain fog and lack of focus in our adults, and of depression and anxiety across all age groups. The inflammatory cascade triggered by these foods doesn't just affect our joints and arteries, it affects our brain tissue too. The gut-brain axis is a real, bidirectional highway, and the traffic from a sick, inflamed gut is a constant stream of distress signals to the brain. So, what is to be done? We feel overwhelmed. We are busy, we are tired, and we are bombarded with marketing that tells us the solution to our problems is another processed product in a new, healthier package. But I am here to tell you that the solution is not found in an aisle of a supermarket. It is found at the periphery. It is found in the produce section, in the butcher shop, at the farmer's market. The solution is a return to simplicity, to real food. I am not asking you to become a gourmet chef or to spend hours in the kitchen. I am asking for a shift in perspective. I am asking you to see food not as a convenience, but as the very foundation of your life, your energy, and your future. The first and most powerful step is to cook. Cooking is the single greatest act of rebellion against the industrial food complex. When you cook, you take back control. You know every single ingredient that goes into your body. You are the master of your own fuel. Start small. It does not have to be intimidating. A simple meal of roasted chicken with potatoes, carrots, and onions, tossed in olive oil, salt, and pepper, is a world away from a frozen, pre-made chicken dinner. A bowl of oatmeal with berries and nuts is a fundamentally different biochemical event than a bowl of sugary cereal. A smoothie made with real spinach, a real banana, and real yogurt is a powerhouse of nutrition, not a lab-created health drink. Learn to read labels, not the marketing claims on the front, but the ingredient list on the back. If the list is long and filled with words you don't recognize or cannot pronounce, it is not food. It is a food-like product. Put it back on the shelf. Your great-grandmother would not recognize it as food, you should not either. Embrace whole, single-ingredient foods. An apple. An egg. A piece of salmon. A head of broccoli. A cup of brown rice. These are the building blocks of health. They do not need a label shouting about their health benefits because their very existence is the benefit. They contain a complex symphony of nutrients, fiber, and phytochemicals that work in harmony to nourish your body in a way that no supplement or fortified product ever can. Plan and prepare. The siren song of ultra-processed food is loudest when we are hungry, tired, and unprepared. Spend a little time on the weekend washing and chopping vegetables, hard-boiling some eggs, or cooking a large batch of quinoa or lentils. Having real, whole food readily available is your best defense against the temptation of a drive-thru or a microwave dinner. This is not about achieving perfection. It is about making a conscious choice, meal by meal, to nourish yourself rather than just feed yourself. It is about understanding that every bite is a vote for the kind of health you want to have in 10, 20, 50 years. It is about rejecting the narrative that we are too busy to be healthy, that we cannot afford to eat well. The truth is, we cannot afford not to. The cost of doctors' visits, medications, and lost productivity due to chronic disease far outweighs the perceived savings from cheap, processed food. This message is too important to keep to yourself. We are swimming in a culture that normalizes sickness. We commiserate over our need for coffee to function, our acid reflux, our joint pain, our fatigue, as if these are inevitable parts of modern life. They are not. They are symptoms of a body struggling to survive on inadequate and hostile fuel. This is why I need your help. This is not just my speech, it must become our movement. We must become a chorus of voices demanding a return to real food. We must educate our families, our friends, our communities. We must create a new normal. So, I am calling on you today. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel that stirring inside you that knows this is the truth, then you have a responsibility to act. Subscribe to channels and follow voices that champion real food and honest health information. We must algorithmically overwhelm the noise of junk food marketing with the signal of wellness and vitality. Like this message. Engage with it. Let the world of social media see that there is a massive, hungry audience for truth, for empowerment, for a different way of living. Your like is a data point, a signal to the digital universe that this is the content we value, the future we want to build. And most importantly, share this. Share it with your parents who are on a dozen medications. Share it with your friends who are struggling with their weight and their energy. Share it with your siblings who are feeding their children the same foods we now know are harming them. Do not be silent. Do not assume someone else will spread the word. We are all someone else. The change starts with you, right now, with the decision to pass this knowledge on. We have the power to take back our health. We have the power to reverse these terrifying trends. We have the power to build a future where our children are vibrant, energetic, and free from the burden of preventable disease. It begins with a single, simple, revolutionary act, choosing real food. Let us make that choice today. Let us make it together. Thank you.